Headlines, the stories we're concentrating on, and this one as well has caught the nation's attention. 6-year-old Emily Diache was kidnapped by 4 men in front of College Park Primary in Fellowdale Park this morning. Her abductors are demanding a R2 million ransom for her release. According to Missing Children South Africa, 1.2 million children are trafficked every year across the country, and a child goes missing every 5 hours in South Africa. I'm joined via Skype by Bianca van Aswegen from Missing Children SA to discuss how you can safeguard your children from abduction. Bianca, very good evening to you, and thanks for your time. We'll use the case of Emily Diache, and this is every parent's worst nightmare, is for this to happen, especially your child being wrenched from your arms right before you by people you don't know. But we understand that there's been a ransom demand. Now, how often do you see cases like this at Missing Children SA, where it's not just an abduction and you never hear from anyone and you never see your child again, possibly, to where there is a ransom demand, and what could possibly be behind this?
Yes, hi, good evening. We deal with a lot of cases here at Missing Children South Africa, and quite a lot of different cases where children are abducted, kidnapping cases, human trafficking cases, children running away from home. But we had a few cases last year where ransom demands were involved. We are assisting the South African Police Service in Amy Lee's case as well. But in cases like this, we always ask the people whose children are actually taken for these ransom demands to please not try and deal with situations like this by themselves. We have qualified police personnel that actually deal directly with cases like these.
And I mean, it's probably a question that the parents don't want to hear at this time, but how often are these children actually returned safely to their families?
Well, we have about an 86% success rate here at Missing Children with our missing persons cases, especially when it comes to our children. But in cases of ransom demands, last year we have a success rate of 100% with our ransom demand cases. So we're hoping and praying that little Amy Lee will be found safely very soon.
Let's talk about how we can actually protect our children, Bianca. I mean, in a case like this, and I don't know if this is personal, if it's something to do with the parents, but, if you are a vulnerable person, if you are somebody, for example, a businessman, or you're prominent, or people know that you might have money to pay a ransom, what do you do and you have little kids, what do you do to actually protect them? Do you hire bodyguards? Do you put a tracking device on them? What do you do for your children?
Yes, that is actually quite a difficult question, because it can actually happen to anyone, especially, well, in this case, prominent business people are more targets in the effect of money-wise. So we don't want to lock ourselves into cages, so it's very difficult to say how to protect ourselves. But I think if in cases like these, if you feel that you are being watched, or that you feel suspicious and get random messages from persons that you don't know, please report this to the local police station so we can actually have a look at it and see if there's something that can be done and prevent kidnapping situations like these.
And just in terms of other crimes involving children, like you say, just human trafficking, and we know that there's they're worse. I mean, just the purposes that these children are taken for, and that, once they're gone, it's just a matter of hours that you could not see them again. What do you do to safeguard your children? You have the chat with them, you say, don't go with strangers, nobody else is going to come and pick you up except myself and dad or grandma or whoever it is. What do you tell your children firstly, no matter how little they are? And then, I mean, do we put little phones on them where we can track them, where we can locate them, like we do with iPhones, and we put little watches on them so that we can keep track of our children 24/7?
Yes, we always say, safety comes first, and rather be safe than sorry at the end of the day. But parents should always know where their children is at all times. And also, social media is one of the main platforms where children actually get lured for human trafficking purposes. So parents need to be aware on what social sites their children are busy with. Is it WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter? Doesn't matter. They need to know and monitor that. And also, tracking devices do assist in some cases, but also they need to know the nearest police station, emergency numbers. What we also tell the children is create a personal password with your parents when it comes to coming and pick them up from school. So if you have to send a stranger or a family member to actually pick your child up from school, they have the right to ask for that password. If that person doesn't know the password, they know the family have not sent them to actually come and pick them up.
Okay, so it's simple, practical things. So Bianca, I want to ask you, and you spoke about social media, what are some of the things we do wrong as parents or caregivers in terms of how we expose our children? We're taking pictures of them in their school uniforms, giving people ideas as to where they are in the day, where they could be found. Those are the things that we actually need to start looking out for, aren't they?
Definitely. I mean, we all do that. And it's actually quite sad that we cannot live and actually, tell people where we are and stuff like that. But that is important to know, not to post photos, not tag your location where you are, stuff like that. But also in cases where we have, like with missing Amy Lee at the moment, that a lot of people actually send some comments on social media with false information and also commenting on stuff that is unnecessary and that hampers the investigation at the end of the day. So we ask people to please refrain from doing that, but definitely be more vigilant about social media sites, and also for the fact of inviting people, say for instance on Facebook, that you don't know. Always have your security settings right on your Facebook account and Twitter account, so it is only private and nobody can see your posts.
Okay, so simple, practical things you can do to keep your children safe. Try as much as you can. Thank you very much, Bianca van Aswegen from Missing Children SA, and of course, little Amy Lee and her family are in our prayers and thoughts this evening.